Welcome back, guys, to another episode. This month in March, we have really been digging into the chaos of midlife, right? The chaos that comes along with the changing hormones, the changing life, everything that's going on around us. And I want to continue that theme today. Today, we are really going to dig into some ways to simplify and to help with that chaos. So welcome back to another episode of From Chaos to Confidence and this podcast. If you feel like midlife is this never ending game of what did I even do today? Trust me, you guys are not alone. 1 minute, you're planning to be productive. The next, you're like knee deep in a closet that you didn't even plan on organizing. Your coffee is cold yet again, and somehow it's already time to make dinner, right? Does any of this sound familiar? Today, we're talking about how to simplify your life in midlife, because if you're going to be overwhelmed, we might as well make it easier on ourselves, right? So in this episode, we are going to cover why midlife feels overwhelming, even when you feel like you're actually not doing that much. We are going to talk about the mental clutter that's making life harder than it needs to be. We're going to talk about small, realistic ways to declutter your mind, your home, your schedule. Okay. We're also going to talk about how to stop overthinking every little decision. I'm talking to myself on that one because it's exhausting and we don't have the time or the energy for this nonsense. Okay. So grab a cup of coffee or reheat the one that you had that you forgot about. And let's talk about how to clear the chaos and create more space for more peace. Okay. We're going to start today with the big question. Why does midlife feel like so much, even when it doesn't look like you're actually doing that much? Well, guys, truth is, it's not just what we're doing physically, but it has a lot to do with our mental load, right? We are managing a household, even if it's other adults that are living with us. We're juggling work, parenting, relationships, and maybe even caring for your aging parents. We are the keepers of all the schedules, the birthdays, the appointments, the random, can you pick this up from the store requests? Okay. We are the ones who are constantly making decisions, even the tiny ones that, these little tiny decisions, they add up over time. We've talked about this month already, that mental overwhelm. All of this means our brain is constantly processing a million little things at once. So if you've ever found yourself saying things like, I feel like I did a lot today, but I have no idea what I actually did, or actually have anything to show for it, this is why, okay? Your brain is exhausted from carrying the weight of the invisible overload of midlife, okay? The good news, we can simplify the chaos and it doesn't require this gigantic overhaul of life because let's be honest, we don't have the time for that, okay? It's hard enough to find those little moments of self-care that we talked about back in February, let alone a complete life overhaul, right? I know you're here with me on that one. So, excuse me, before we can simplify, we do need to talk a bit about mental clutter because, guys, it's not just the physical stuff that makes you feel like your life is overwhelming. Mental clutter has some big red flags, okay? So it can look like things, those endless to-do lists, things that you never feel like anything is ever getting finished. You're constantly gotta do, right? A red flag for mental clutter can be feeling guilty for not doing enough, even though you are absolutely doing probably more than enough, probably more than you should, right? But many of us have that rest guilt, right? So you're constantly feeling like, I'm not doing enough. I'm not accomplishing enough. I haven't got enough done, right? Another major red flag here is overthinking every tiny little decision. Okay. Do you find yourself saying things like, should I wear this or that? What's for dinner? What if I make this and they don't like it? Should should I respond to that text right now? Should I get to that right now? I better answer them, right? That's a red flag. A red flag of feeling like you need to be on all the time. This is a huge one. You need to be on for work, for family, for everyone but yourself, right? If you are answering work emails long after work is done, if you are, answering text messages from people late in the night when you're trying to go to sleep, but oh my gosh, they need me, then you are on all the time, and that's a massive mental clutter, right? This is why even the small things feel so exhausting. Your brain is overloaded, and no one is designed to function like this 24/7. So let's get into like real practical ways that you can start to clear that clutter, you can start to make life easier, and you can start to move away from this constant bombardment of mental chaos. Okay. So now, listen, I'm not going to tell you to just relax. We've talked about this before. That is like the biggest pet peeve, right? When somebody says to you, would you just relax? I feel like I want to throat punch them when they do that. That is because if you, like, honestly, guys, if it were that easy, do you not think that we'd already have done that? Like, if the mental overload is exhausting us so much that all we had to do was just relax, do you not think that that would have already happened? No, it's not that easy. Okay. So instead, here are some small, simple shifts that are not going to overwhelm you, that are actually going to help clear your mind a bit. Number one, declutter one small space without making it a whole big project. Okay. No, I am not telling you to do this massive spring cleaning. Pick one area. It could be your purse. It could be your utensil drawer in your kitchen. It could be, that pile of paper bills that's sitting on the desk that you've been avoiding. Why? Why are you going to do this first? Because physical clutter actually brings mental clutter, right? Because think about it. Every time you walk by that pile of paper sitting on, your desk or your countertop, that there's a couple bills in there you haven't opened, your brain is going through all that, right? Your brain is like, oh my gosh, all this stuff. I got to do that. I got to do this. I got to do that. If you get rid of that, I'm not saying just like actually organize it. It feels good. It feels good to go through it and clean up the clutter. Don't just like open the kitchen utensil drawer and throw everything in the garbage. No, like actually clear it out. It actually feels good for your brain. It's a really great exercise. And then when you clear this one tiny space, then you kind of feel like you have more of a breathing room. So then, when you walk into the kitchen and you don't see the stack of weird papers and bills that's there from like 7 weeks ago, you don't have that anxiety. It's, oh, look at the nice space, right? And a bonus tip here, set a 10-minute timer. Okay. This is really important. Set the 10-minute timer. Do what you can. And when the timer goes off, done or not, this is better than perfect. Okay. This little bit of work that you've done here. So, for example, if you're doing that pile of weird papers and bills, set the timer for 10 minutes. If you've gotten, 60% of the way through that, that is better than nothing. Okay. Set that timer. This also prevents you from spiraling out and becoming moving on to declutter the entire freaking house, right? Number 2, stop saying yes to everything, especially things that you don't want to do or that you don't have the capacity to do. Okay. These are 2 very important things. There are things that you don't want to do that you are saying yes to. And there are also things that you do want to do that you want to say yes to, but you don't have the capacity for. I'll give you an example. I was supposed to go a couple years back when I was in a massive state of perimenopause, life, overwhelm, stress, anxiety to the wazoo. I really wanted to go visit and spend some time with a very important person. And I really, really wanted to do this. Yet every time I started to think about going, because I was already so overwhelmed, the anxiety that built up inside of me was I couldn't handle. As much as I wanted to, I knew that I was not in a condition to do it. Okay. So that's the difference, is there will be things that you want to do, but you are not in a good space to do them. And it's okay to say no to those. And it's okay to say no to the things you really don't want to do. Like if you don't want to bake muffins for the bake sale, then don't bake the freaking muffins, right? Midlife overwhelm isn't just about what we have to do. It's about what we agree to do, but we really don't want to. So, next time you get asked to do something, I want you to pause and ask yourself first. One, do I actually want to do this? Like I said, it could be a yes. Number two, is this adding value or just more stress? Even those things that you're like, I really want to do, but I am already so overwhelmed and stressed out that if I do this, it's going to add more stress. Okay, that's a yes. If I say yes to this thing, what am I saying no to? Like, pause on that one, take that one in. If I say yes to this, what am I saying no to? Okay. So that example of me wanting to do that big drive and go visit with people, if I had said yes, many times I wanted to say yes. If I had said yes, what I was saying no to was the ability to function at work the next week. Okay. Was the ability to be okay, if I'm honest. And so it ended up being a no, right? Spoiler, if you're saying yes out of guilt, it is probably not worth putting in the effort. Okay. Strategy number 3, simplify your schedule. What you are doing, one small shift at a time. Okay. Your schedule should not feel like a never ending game of Tetris. Like you trying to get all these things in and cram everybody in. No, it shouldn't feel that way. Okay. Try this. Look at your calendar and remove one thing that is draining you. Okay. Really look at it. And if you don't have a calendar set up or you don't actually know where the time is going in your day, get yourself either print off like those agenda sheets or get yourself an agenda. And every time you switch up a task, just write it in. See what you're actually doing. This is a very powerful exercise. I've done this with clients and I've done this for myself many times when I'm feeling like my life is overwhelming and I'm not accomplishing anything. Actually look at your schedule. What are you doing? Each time you switch a task, what is that task that you're doing now? And then you can look at it at the end of the day or the end of the week, whatever you prefer, and you can evaluate, right? And you can remove something from that is going to be draining for you. Maybe it's a social event that you actually don't want to be having to participate in. For me, there was these evening education business calls that I really wanted to be a part of, but I didn't actually really want to be a part of. It was not the call that was serving me. There was different calls that were absolutely serving me, but that one was not the one that was serving me. But I had it in my schedule and I kept logging on and doing them. And they were like, I think they were Monday nights at like 9:00. It was ridiculous for me. Like bedtime is 8:30 some days, right? So when I removed that, I removed so much mental load, right? Maybe it's a habit that's not serving you. Maybe you have a habit that's just there, that's just something that you do because you've always done it. So you're just going to keep doing it. But you're realizing that, hey, this is not actually serving me. It's not making me feel better after doing it, right? Maybe it's something that you thought that you had to do, but in reality, no one will notice if you didn't. Okay. How many of us do this? We're like, oh my gosh, if we don't do this, this is going to be a disaster, right? But nobody actually notices that you do it. And that is frustrating in and of itself, that you're putting in the time and the energy to do these things, but nobody's actually noticing, right? Take that out. If it's not benefiting you, take it out, right? Less busy does not equal lazy. I've talked about this at the beginning of the month. Less busy does not equal lazy. It just means you're making space for what actually matters for you. And that is a beautiful thing. Okay. Strategy number 4, stop overthinking every little decision. Guys, decision fatigue is so real. And I know so many of us do this. And I know that so many of you get to the end of your day and you've made so many micro decisions during your day that by the time you get to the end, you have to make the macro decision of dinner, you are spent, right? If you feel like you are spending way too much energy deciding what to eat, what to wear, you know, what every little moment of every little day should look like, I want you to try something. Okay? I want you to try these things. 1, meal plan simple meals. Okay? If you don't know how to meal plan, head to my website, www.victorialifestrategist.com. Either pick up the digital or the paper copy of my 28-day strategy cookbook. They are family friendly, easy to prepare meals and meal plans, okay? You can take that and make that same meal plan over and over and over again, okay? You don't have to have this astronomical list of meals that you pull from, okay? 3 to 4 simple dinners. So, you don't have to think about anything. Grab that book. The grocery list is even in there, right? Super simple. Number 2, something to try. Wear the same uniform on your busy days, right? I've been learning a lot about this because honestly, like I've lived in hoodies and leggings for so long that I just didn't even know how to dress myself. And so the thought of having to pick new clothes and, I'm stepping into this new life and I'm becoming a different person and I really want my midlife to, and I'm overthinking all these things. So the midlife wardrobe capsule, guys, look this up. Like go to Pinterest or go to Instagram and look up capsule wardrobe and find the midlife ladies that are talking about this. They have there's one lady that I saw, she's got I don't know, maybe 12 or 15 pieces of clothing, and she makes up a zillion different outfits out of them. How easy is that? You don't have to overthink it. Everything goes together, everything matches, right? If you already have some really nice clothes and you're thinking, God, but every day, work you can make a work uniform. It doesn't have to be the same clothes every day, but these things are what I wear to work. These things are for after work or whatever, right? Give yourself permission to make the good enough choice. Please, let me repeat this and please listen. Give yourself permission to make the good enough choice. Okay? I know this is hard. Those of you who are A-type overthinkers like me, you're like, good enough is not good enough. I know. But guys, sometimes done is better than perfect. Honest to God, done is better than perfect. So many times in my life, I have busted my ass to make something perfect, only to realize that what I had hoped to accomplish, had it just been done, would have been fine, right? Okay, strategy number 5. Make dinner and life easier. We talked about this a little bit already, okay? Why is dinner the most stressful part of your day? If you're exhausted by the endless what's for dinner debate, I give you these tips to simplify it. 1, 3 to 4 go-to meals that require minimal thought. Like I said, grab the 28-day strategy cookbook. I'm going to tell you a funny story. So when I was writing that cookbook, I was testing all these recipes. I have 3 teenage boys. They're now adult boys, but at the time they were 3 teenage boys. And I'm testing all these recipes and making sure they're like family friendly, they're easy, I wanted to perfect them, right? That was a case where good enough wasn't good enough, right? So I'm hammering out like all these estrogen friendly, all these like hormone friendly, whatever meals. Simple meals. Super simple, guys. I cannot hammer that home enough. Simple meals, okay? As we're doing all this testing, the boys know I'm working on this cookbook. They know what it's all about. I've been very honest with them. I've told them, it's for women to help balance their hormones. We go through our 28-day cycle. I explained it all to them. The one day we sat down for dinner, and my youngest is like, what part of the book is this from? And I was like, well, this is like a comforting meal for when you're on your period. And he looks at me, he goes, is this gonna make me like have estrogen problems eating this stuff? What is going on? And I'm like, no, dude. So let me reassure you that the recipes are simple and easy. They're also, I have a vegan version of the book, and I have a meat person, not a carnivore, but like if you eat meat, there's a version of that too. Okay. The vegan version has excellent recipes for those of us who have the digestive issues that we were talking about the other week, right? Excellent options in there. Okay. So there, you've got your meal plan. You don't have to think about shit. It's even got your grocery list in it. Everything. Like, you literally don't have to think about it. You just show up. It takes about 20, most recipes take about 20 minutes, and they're super simple. Also, if you batch cook or, meal prep simple ingredients, that makes it even easier. So for example, in my course, in the 6-week course that goes along with the 28-day strategy book and the full course, we learn how to batch cook. So let's say you're on week 2, you learn how to make a dinner that you can then have for lunch. Okay, so that is a super easy way to take some of that decision fatigue around food off your plate, right? The next step, use one-pan meals that don't require the extra dishes. Guys, literally that is the book. Okay, so if this resonates with you, 1, I want you to grab the book. 2, head over to the blog, okay? Because this week's recipe is 1 pan lemon, garlic, chicken, and veggies. 1 pan, okay? And if you're someone that doesn't eat chicken, this is such a versatile recipe. You can switch it out for fish, for tofu, for tempeh, whatever. You could even do this with chickpeas. I forgot what they were called. I'm seeing them. They look like little chickpeas. Okay. So this is such a versatile, easy 1 pan recipe. It is on the blog. You're going to get it this week. So head to the blog. Also tons of recipes. I put a recipe there every single week. It is easy. It is healthy. And it doesn't require you to think. And I guarantee you, like, your whole household's going to love it. It's so full of flavor. It's so delicious. Okay. Midlife can be a complete roller coaster ride, but you don't have to ride it alone. Inside my VIP women's only Facebook group, we talk real solutions for hormone balance, energy, mindset, and the best supplements for this stage of life that actually work. It's a space where you'll find expert guidance, support, and sisterhood that just gets it. Ready to join us? The link is in the bio. Can't wait to see you there. So, let's wrap things up here. I've given you a lot of tips and tricks and a lot of ways to help decrease that mental load. Okay. Life can be chaotic, especially in midlife, but we don't have to make it harder than it needs to be. I want you this week to think about decluttering one small thing. And then once you do, go post it in our Facebook group. Put a post out there that you listened to the podcast and you did your declutter, right? I want you to say no to something that drains you. And if this is like a major thing for you that you're not able to say no to these things yet, on the weekly wins, this needs to be celebrated in the Facebook group. Okay. Simplify one decision this week. Simplify it. Give yourself permission to do less, not more. Because, guys, you're already doing so much and you deserve to make your life a little bit easier. Okay. If you are ready, you want more tips, you want to help simplify midlife, okay, join the Facebook group. Remember, that is where it is a private women's only group where we talk about things like midlife stress, self-care, finding balance in the chaos. Head to that. Also, check out the website for more midlife friendly strategies and recipes, www.victorialifestrategist.com. And then, of course, if you please help us grow this website, help us grow this podcast, share this with a fellow midlife friend who needs this reminder today. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. And now go make your life a little bit easier, one step at a time.